What's good with y'all, man? Oh So Dope Live. We back once again with another Let's Have a Conversation episode. My guest today is no stranger to the platform. I talked to him before. I put out the interview before, I want to say last year or so, but we back again. He has an upcoming project, and I want him to kind of let y'all know what kind of sound he's going for this one. Of course, this is my brother, and also I think this is an amazing talent from the city of Norfolk, right down the street from each other. So this some hometown stuff right here, some West Valentine time. So give it up for none other than my brother, CZARnicholas. What up, bro,
good,
man?
What's good?
I worked way too hard just to make my cash. I went from picking up trash to dropping off bags. In 2017, I got my first ounce. I broke it way down to the smallest amount.
What's up, man? How you feeling, man?
I'm chilling, man, you know?
Know what I mean?
Yeah, always chilling.
So, from the last time we talked, what's changed as far as, you know, from the last conversation, you know, when you were speaking about just growth as for yourself as an artist, you know, how you feel about that?
So, the last time we talked, it was, for me, a lot of what I was gonna do.
Okay.
Now I've already did it.
Okay.
So it's done. So, you know, I set my goals, you know, I touched them. So I'm waiting to pull the trigger now, man.
What was one of the goals you set out for yourself that you accomplished?
Well, you know, really it was more so getting the certain features that I was looking to get. You know, anybody can talk about it, but once they finally send the vocals in, that's when you got it, you know, bunkered down.
Right, that's when you know it's real.
So yeah, the features that I got, getting the distribution through Empire, that's something that I wasn't really like, it didn't have to happen, but the fact that it did happen is just, you know, solidified it a little bit more for me, you know. So
yeah. How does that feel, man, getting that distribution through Empire, man? You know, legendary Empire, man.
Hey, man, you know, it's part of moving up in the world.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
yeah,
that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I understand that, man. So your mindset, you know, you was talking about the goals that you had set out for yourself and you accomplished majority of them. Like, how did that shift your mindset?
Well, so it just really all it lets me know is that all I have to do is set a goal, and you know, you can't just set a goal and just say, all right, I want to do this, and then you just, you know, wait for something to happen. You got to go out and get it.
Facts.
So, you know, I went out and got it. Talked to a few people, brushed some shoulders, and really it's about networking. Like, and the one thing that a lot of people say, you know, we was just talking about this the other day about, you know, moving out of your city, moving around, you know, getting close to some other people in other areas. And with social media, I was able to do that at a high level.
Right.
So, you know, it gave me a lot of opportunities that I don't think I would have got just from not communicating with the outside world, you know.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. We talked about that interview that Pusha T had, and he said, you know, sometimes you got to go out of your hometown to make some noise and bring it back home and stay rooted. So even though you go outside your hometown, you still got to stay rooted, because you can lose your way along the way doing that, because sometimes you might not receive the love that you think you deserve.
Right.
So when you go somewhere, you get the love that you know you properly deserve, or you feel like you deserve.
Right.
You're like, well, I ain't worried about the whole time. This is where I'm at. But staying grounded. So like, how do you believe that? Do you believe you always have to stay grounded, even though if you might take your talent somewhere else?
Well, man, you know, I'm just a naturally grounded person anyway, so it's just, what you see is what you're gonna get. But when Pusha was talking about, you know, artists not breaking here, it's a lot of truth to it. I mean, I had to see it for myself. Like me, it's no way I would have broke out here. I had to, you know, especially with my sound, I had to break on the West Coast. That's the only way it would have worked, the only way it would have happened.
Right.
So it's not bad advice. I mean, once you got your sound down, you got to go to where people like to hear what you got.
Got to. That's facts. You know, and with the sound, which is a great segue into my next question. How do you blend traditional West Coast vibes with today's evolving hip hop?
Well, really, the only thing that is more so on a today's hip hop kind of thing, it would be probably the mix and mastering techniques. Everything else is more so on that 90s mobbed out bass line heavy, just soul funk, super funky, it's just it's all classic mob, it's all a little bit of a little bit of E40 influence. You got your
40 Water, man.
Too Short, Drew Down, Mac Mall, Mac Dre, Be Legit. I mean, even DJ Quick on a Southern California wave a little bit. Just all the people that I listen to on a daily basis, just blended together, and that's what you really get when you get what I got,
Yeah. So earlier stages of their career influence, or like kind of like because they're still active now.
Right, yeah.
So shouts out to 40 Water, Too Short, and guys like that are still doing it on the West Coast. So more of their early work, or kind of like what they're doing now, seeing that they're settled in their careers, but they still have that passion for music.
Well, so I mean, me, I'm a purist. It's more so like in a major way.
Oh, classic album.
Get in where you fit in. That type time, like that era, like your 90 through 97 type thing, that's where I'm at with it.
That's when music was good, man. Well, it's still great, but that's when it was raw in its purest form.
Right.
It's pure. What's the name of the album, man? What does it represent?
Yeah, so the name of the album is Major Factor.
Okay.
And really what it represents, so when I first started making it, I had that in a major way kind of realization, because when he came out with In a Major Way, it was when he signed his deal with Jive. That was his first major album.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of like a parallel where this is going to be my first kind of like major album.
Yeah.
As far as features go, as far as distribution goes.
Right.
The rollout format that I'm using is more like on a mainstream type of wave. So it's all in a major way.
In a major way.
Yeah.
Factuals, man. That's dope, and me myself, what's been in my playlist has been, early E40, early Short Dog, and like I said, I like listening. You said like that raw West Coast hip hop in its purest form, the G-Funk, and those guys definitely, got classic tracks with West Coast legends. They all legends in their own right, of course, but to see that they're all legends and they was doing that type of music at that time, I'd be wondering, do they know it's going to do what it's going to do when it's happening in the studio and it goes far like that, or they just go in there and just create and it just turns into something magical? Like, what's your thoughts? What do you think? Like the whole creation process.
Speaking from like just from my personal experience, whenever I make music, I always try to give it my all, try to do as best as I can, write the best verse I can,
right?
Mix it the best way I can, that type of thing. You always want the song to do what you think it's gonna do,
right?
But a lot of the times, your best song won't even be your favorite song. It'll probably end up being the song that you didn't even really care about. It was like a throwaway,
right? And
most people hear it and they like, oh man, this is the greatest song ever. So what you have to do is you just have to create enough so that when people are going through your catalog, they find something that they can gravitate towards, out of a long, like I got a deep catalog, A lot of people I know got deep catalogs, like long, you know, long arrays of music that you could just pull something from.
Yeah.
So that's really my mindset with it, you know, just flood the zone and whatever sticks is gonna stick, you know?
Yeah. Great segue into my next one, cause that's perfect. Man, you just bringing us up to speed. What makes this project different from any other thing you've done?
So the first thing is I had outside input.
Okay.
I had Joe Fresco executive produce the album for me. And it's going out through Empire, Map of Sound, and the Right Way Productions. So when I had to give him basically the steering wheel, you know, to, you know, like, you know, guide the ship on what kind of beats I should use, what kind of flows, because I done went and I done, you know, I done recorded like maybe 40 songs for this album.
Oh wow!
And when
the process.
Right, and when I you know, I send one to him, he'll be like, nah, that ain't it. I send him one, he's like, yeah, try that on a different beat. Try this beat right here. You know, do it like this. So when you got somebody that's actually there with you the whole way, like, you know, helping you curate the album, pick and choose the beats, you know, the order, the track listing, the features. A lot of the features I got was by way of him, like, you know, connecting me with certain people and doing things like that. So he took that executive producer role and he really turned the album into something that's, you know, spectacular in my opinion.
Okay, man. Shouts out to Joey Fresco, man, making that possible. You know, and I can tell by how you were speaking, it wasn't an easy process at first because you're used to having 100% creative control.
For sure. For sure. But you know,
I can hear when you was talking.
But you know, one thing about it though is all the years of me doing it myself.
Yeah.
I've grown slow, but for sure. But I feel like once you open yourself up to, you know, accepting help from other sources, that puts you on a whole different stage, you know. It lets other people from their fan base know who you are. It just grows everything.
Yeah, I can understand that. It comes with the growth, like what I was talking about at the beginning of the interview, you know, growth. So that plays a part too in your artist, the growth of your artistry too, because you've done your projects the way you was doing them, and now what makes this one special is that you actually had someone executively produce it,
right,
to make it something different aside of what you've been normally doing with your projects.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I can feel that. So is this album the next step in your evolution or a return to your roots?
So it's definitely the next step in my evolution. I think we talked about it last time, but basically with every album I put out, I just polish it more and more and more, you know. So now it's at the apex.
Okay.
You know,
okay,
so
yeah.
That's not to say that this is going to be the, you know, the greatest I ever do.
Right.
Because I'm sure the next one will be better. But as of now, this is the best that I've got. I'm like Anita Baker on this one.
Shouts out to Anita Baker, man. She get it right every time, man.
Yeah,
she
sure.
does, man. How does this album reflect the growth you've had musically or personally since we last chopped it up?
Yeah, so I took a lot of time to actually focus on lyricism more. I was at like a crossroads because when I was younger, it was like all lyrical, everything lyrical.
I know.
Yeah.
You know I know. So I've seen the evolution.
Yeah,
so you know, that's why I picked these particular ones. I see the growth and I appreciate, you know, your artistry and how it's grown.
Yeah, so it was all lyricism.
Yeah.
And then once I decided that I wanted to make the music that I like to listen to,
Yeah.
I always like listening to G-Funk music. I always like listening to mob music.
Right.
I just never really made it at that point because I was trying to chase fame, you know? So once I decided that I wasn't really trying to chase fame anymore, I'm just trying to make what I like to hear.
Right.
That's when I started making, you know, the Mermaid Cities and Tossing in the Airs, all those type of
Fire.
records. And at this point now, it's just like on a whole nother level because the lyricism is back where it was, the storytelling is back where it was, the beat selection is A1, so it's firing on all cylinders, you know.
Yeah, and man, like I was just saying, just to reiterate what I was saying, that's why I picked the certain questions that I did, because we've done music together. We've actually had studio sessions, and I've seen, you know, how you are with your craft.
Right.
You know, so seeing, you know, because I already know at a drop of a hat, you can get lyrical at a drop of a hat. Not a problem at all. But to see that you've grown into, you know, your artistry, and like you said, you start to do the songs that you want to do, you have more fun with it, you're more comfortable, it's more fluent.
Right.
And it suits you because it's customized how you want it to go. So to see that, bro, like I said, I love it. You know, and you always can tell when an artist is having fun in their craft because of the final product of the song.
Right,
man.
yeah.
So I definitely get what you're saying on that. What makes Norfolk sound or style different from other parts of Virginia or East Coast as a whole?
So, you know me, man. I'm under the faction that we don't really have a sound, particularly in this area. I think more so what it is just, it's going to be a reflection of every other area. Here it's more so like it's like a blank slate, like a clean canvas, you know? And because I've done all the shows, I've done a lot of showcases, I've been to a lot of different, cities, I've seen regional sounds, you know, when I went to Vegas, like the West Coast sound is there.
Yeah, all the
you
way.
know, when I go to Atlanta, that sound is there. But when you're here, it's like you could walk down the street, talk to 10 artists, and hear 10 different sounds.
Yeah.
Because it's no set standard here. You know, even the most famous artists from here, you know, they use a lot of like very stylistic sounds. Like when you listen to a Timbaland beat, you know it's a Timbaland beat.
Right.
When you listen to a Pharrell beat, you know it's a Pharrell beat. You hear the 4 count. So a lot of artists from here, they got like a real like special sound that you won't hear anywhere else. So I think it's more so like just the fact that it's somewhere where a lot of different cultures can blend, and that's really what gives you the different sounds that you get from the area. But I wouldn't say it has like a Norfolk sound or I mean, you might have a DMV sound, maybe. DMV and 757 is like 2 separate things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it might be a difference between that on a like localized regional level, but it's all weird music. It's all weird out here.
He said it's weird. I understand. You know what? I never heard it from that perspective as far as the sound for out here.
Yeah.
You know, me, I always looked at the sound as, of course, like you said, the people that's in the industry that's from here, Neptunes, Timbaland, Missy Elliott, just to name a few.
Right.
And, you know, like you said, you know it when you hear it. So I always classified that as a Virginia sound.
Right.
Because them being from here and each of them still having their own sound, I was like, well, that's their particular sound. But being how you put it, them having their own sound still makes it different for, like, you can go down the street and hear different artists have different sounds. So out here it's kind of like a canvas, and people just paint their pictures differently however they see it, with different influences too. You know, so which with music you have to get some kind of inspiration from you know, what you create.
Right.
And I think Virginia out here in the sound, we have a great ability of emulation, where we can hear something but still make it our own,
Right.
because we have that creativity. And all the biggest artists from here have shown that, you know, through their sound. And just to name those few, Neptune, Missy, Pharrell, we all know, I mean, Neptune's Timberland, Missy, like, they all have their own sound, and that's what makes them them, because they painted their canvas the way they wanted to paint it. You know, so I definitely agree with that. I never looked at it that way. That's a good analogy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was profound right there, man. I feel like we covered a great deal. What's something you want the people to know, you know, outside of the questions that I asked you?
Yeah, so my album is coming out on September 1st. Exclusively on Even. You know, buy art from the artist.
Okay.
So that's not to say it won't hit the DSPs eventually, but let's see what the people do first. You know, let's see what let's see how many sales I can get. You know, let's see how many people really want to show love. It's a pay what you want platform, so I'm not making you drop a bag on me, you know, just to listen to the record. You know, just, you know, do what you can stand. You know, I got a couple merch packages up there. You know, so depending on if you want to spend 100, 50, 25, you'll get different merch bundles with that. And you know, I'm just ready to have some fun with it, man. You know.
Yeah, man. Major Factor, September 1st. Like my brother was saying, support is support. Whatever is on your heart and on your mind, you know, real talent right here. As you hear, you know, speaking his mind and giving his perspective. Again, I appreciate you, bro, for blessing the platform once again. You know, you're more than welcome to always have a sit down and have a platform to promote whatever you got going on.
For sure.
You know, like I told y'all, this on Westside Valentine shit. We gonna keep pushing. As far as, you know, putting out the artistry. The platform is the platform. Again, I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the platform. Make sure you follow my brother on Instagram, CZARnicholas _.
That's right.
CZARnicholas _ on Instagram. On YouTube as well, CZARnicholas. That's CZARnicholas.
That's
CZARnicholas, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow my brother. New music on the way, as he said, September 1st, Major Factor. Y'all heard it here. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all subscription. This is Also Dope Live with another Let's Have a Conversation episode with my brother, CZARnicholas. Gone.